Hello everybody, my name is Bill and this is the channel Rust to Resurrection. Today we're going to start a new project. We're going to start building the cushions that go on the top of that toolbox that we built in some previous videos. Now, my wife Lynn has volunteered to help me do this, and she'll be coming on camera here in just a bit. But in order for us to do this, we had to spend a lot of time kind of studying this. If you remember, this channel is more than just talking about Jeeps, maintenance, restoration, rides. This channel is largely about learning to do new things. And I'm trying to relate those new things to the Jeeps, the Jeep worlds. And so we're going to learn to upholster. We're going to start upholstering a cushion or making a cushion for that toolbox, because it turns out that's one of the easiest things to learn to do when you start upholstering. Eventually we want to go in and reupholster these seats. That's a little bit bigger or deeper skill level than what either one of us have. So we're going to start making these cushions, or this cushion. Actually, we're going to do 3 cushions when we're done, but we're going to just start with the simplest one, which is the square one that goes on the lid of the toolbox. So again, we are all about learning to do new things, and gaining these new skills, or experimenting with these new skills and becoming richer for it, we're hoping. Let's start out talking about some of the supplies that we need to have in order to do this. So obviously the first thing we need is material. So we're starting out with this fake leather. It is a vinyl material, which is perfect for what we're going to do here. It's inexpensive, and if we ruin it, we'll go buy some more. It's also rugged enough so that it will fit in this Jeep when we take it off-road or go into any kind of a situation where it may get dirty or damaged or any of that. We need a secondary material, which is going to go underneath the cushion. I didn't want to wrap the entire thing in vinyl. This material, it's a heavier canvas style material, and it'll take, I believe it will take the pressures, if you will, of resting on this raw steel and the plywood. So rather than scratching and ruining the vinyl material, I'd rather have that canvas material underneath. That may or may not work, may or may not be a mistake. We're just learning to do all this stuff. So the next thing we're going to do is use cording or piping, because I prefer, or I would like to do this using this sort of piping or cording material, or cording around the cushions itself. I know you can just make square corners, but I'd like to do something a little more traditional for old-timey upholstery or auto upholstery. We have to have the thread, so we have a special upholstery thread, which is supposedly heavier and more water resistant, I guess. And the last thing that we need is we need the material that we're going to make the cushion out of. So this is a 3-inch foam. So again, we've done a lot of reading and a lot of studying. We've watched YouTube videos, and we're going to just use the cushions in the back, just using the foam itself. That may or may not be a mistake. We're going to make one. We're going to see how it goes or how it comes out. And I guess you can add other kind of slippery layers between the foam and the material itself. We don't know, because we've never done it. If you're an upholsterer, or if you've done upholstery, please leave a comment, and we are all willing to learn. And I've always said this from the beginning of this channel. I'm sharing our journey with all of you, and if you know things, don't be afraid to share back. Let us know what you think, what your experiences are. Again, I'm trying to create a community here, or develop a community here of folks that are willing to learn new things. Anyway, so today's video is actually we're not going to upholster. We're going to try and learn how to do piping. And we bought some material, the same material that we use for it's the same material that we use for the seats themselves. So we bought some extra so that we can just simply learn to do the piping or the cording, because that is going to be the foundation of the boxiness of the cushions themselves. So today's video, all we're going to do is learn to make this cording or piping, and then hopefully from that find our mistakes, find whatever issues, find what we don't know how to do, and learn how to do it better. So that's today's video. Let's learn how to make seat cushions. All right, everybody, let me bring my wife in and introduce you to her. So come on in, Lynn. All right, this is my wife, Lynn. You've seen her on the channel more than once. She's a real trooper. She tolerates all my video stuff. And she's actually volunteered to help me with this project. Reluctantly, maybe a little bit. You've seen her on the channel driving the Jeep, the green Jeep Bones. She did a great job driving that. Very talented, very experienced with standard, and this was her first time driving this thing, so that video, you can go back and look at that. Second off, I want to talk a little bit about the demographics of my channel. So, Lynn and I are both retired. We both have 40 plus years in our careers, and after those 40 years plus, we walked away and we retired. And in the process of retiring, you have a chance to do several things. You can either just go fishing, which is my term for sitting on a couch and doing nothing, or you can experience that retirement and the time that it gives you and learn to do new things. I chose to create a couple of YouTube channels. Actually, Lynn has started an Instagram account of her own. Lynn is a phenomenal craftsperson in her own right. She is a knitter, she is a crocheter, she is a great cook, especially when it comes to desserts. And trust me, I like her desserts. So she's doing both of that over on Instagram. Also, when I look at our demographics, or my demographics here, my demographics, the average viewer age is 55 plus. So most of the folks who are watching this channel are older folks. And believe it or not, I also have a group of women or females that watch this channel as well, which really does surprise me. So my demographics are both female and male, mostly male, and mostly male over 55 years old. So because most of my viewers are over 50 or 55, I'm just inviting you to go out and try new things and to experiment new things, and don't go fishing. Don't sit on the couch. Learn to do new things like we're doing here and experience it. All right, let's get the table and the sewing machine all set up, and we're going to learn how to make piping. Or is it called cording?
Piping.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So we think that this material is a medium, and the packages actually are divided between light, medium, and heavy fabric for the needle size. So we're thinking medium is the correct needle. So everything we've watched says that we have to change the foot from a standard foot to, what do you call this one, Lynn?
Zipper.
Zipper foot. All right, so we're using an older Singer that Lynn bought.
No. It was a Christmas gift from you.
Okay, so we're using an older singer that was a Christmas gift from me. How many years ago?
It's gonna be 40 years.
Okay, so this is definitely an older one. So we are now having to wind up the bobbin, and the problem is with this extension, when the extension's on, you can't open the plate. So we have to do the bobbin first. So we're using that thread that we bought.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue this piece of scrap material just to make sure this thing is gonna.
So. All right, so this is cording or piping, and this is what we're trying to create. And this will be the edges or the transition from one dimension to the other dimension. And that's what's going to help square up the corners. So this is what we're talking about. We're trying to make this, this piping.
So you sew right up on this edge here. And you
For the
fold this
material.
right, so it makes that edge.
Okay.
Then when you sew on the other part, you put the fabric on top of here,
Oh, okay.
and then you sew it, and then it just like sandwiches this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. You can get your piping inserts in different dimensions. So this is an 1/8 inch piping. This is a 3/16 inch piping. 3/16 is actually pretty large, and we didn't realize that until we got them both home. So we're going to use both of them. We're going to test both of them and see which one might look best on a cushion as big as we're talking about. So we need to go cut the material. All right, so we've got the sewing machine all set up, and the next thing we have to do is go up on the cutting board, and we have to cut this into the proper width. So we're gonna go do that next. All right, so we bought this piece of vinyl, this sacrificial vinyl, where we could do our test, because if we mess it up, we'd rather mess up a test piece than the real piece. So we're gonna cut.
Let's square it up first.
Okay.
That's good.
Yep, brand new blade, it should.
So now, let's just do it. That's what you're supposed to do. It's not, I don't know.
So it's not close enough to the.
Well, wait a minute. When I pull it through here. It's not tight enough to that. So let me try something here.
That's That's what we're doing.
It's sewing all right. Don't you think?
But it's not close enough to the piping.
Right, so I'm wondering, let me look at the zipper foot again. Wonder if I can move. Pull this off. It's off. You see this little thing slides over?
Oh.
So maybe that's what the problem is.
Oh. So it's putting the needle closer to the
Well,
piping.
if I can get the needle to go down on that side, yeah, which I think I can.
Okay.
The hoop.
Okay, so to put this in perspective, this, what they call the walking foot.
No, that is the zipper foot.
Okay, so this thing that they actually call a zipper foot, it has two sides. So depending on how you install it, you can install it left or you can install it right. And we had it on the far side so that it was keeping the thread, oops, too far away from the piping. So now by setting the foot over, we're thinking it's going to get us closer to the piping. Experiment number 2.
And that's how you make piping.
That is so cool.
Now, what I want to do is I'd like to take some of that scrap material we have upstairs and just sew it to see if the thickness of the material is too thick for the machine.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right, let's do that.
Okay, so we're just going to make believe that we're putting the cushion together. I just want to make sure that this thickness of this material will go through the machine.
Yep.
So this is the top, and this is just adding the piping off to the side. Am I doing it right? I don't know. So I'm just going to pin this there just to hold it for me. Just for right now. Just so I have an idea what I'm doing. I've got clips upstairs we'll use. I'm going to do that.
I suppose we could also super glue parts of it.
No, you're not super gluing this. God.
This is a woodworker talking.
Not happening. Okay, so you go like this. And you have to, you're basically going to stitch right over the stitches that you've done,
I get it.
I think. So I'm going to go back down over that, I guess. There you go.
All right, that's cool.
All right, so let's make believe this is like the front part of the cushion, like this part, right?
Yep.
So then you have to get the top on.
Okay.
So then I think what you've got to do, which I'm not really sure about, is you've got to do something here.
I think you just lay it over the other side, like that.
Can't, it's a raw edge.
What's a raw edge?
This is a raw edge. So let me think about this. You gotta go
Like that. Yeah.
and then you don't, and you can't see where you're sewing, that's what it is. So you can't really see what you're doing here. So you lay this like this. Then you gotta kind of feel your way.
So you're letting the,
So basically what you gotta make sure that these always stay even.
so you're allowing the piping to guide the needle or the
Basically.
foot.
Yeah, and that's the concern right now, because this is
Okay.
in an industrial machine.
We're gonna
Is it
find
gonna
out.
be
Yep.
Strong enough, or are you buying me a new machine? That'd be cool. What do you think? Is it gonna be close enough? Okay. It's not sewing. Something happened. Okay, you ready? What do you think?
I think it's cool as crap.
I mean, it's a little off there, but this is the test thing.
I think it's cool as crap. So what do we do with all this excess material
I don't think it's gonna be a bother.
so when we fold it over, it's
No,
just
because
going,
it's gonna be on the top of the cushion. This would be like here. It gives it a little stability, maybe.
I'm just learning new things. This is cool.
I mean, it's not perfect, but you know what? I think I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Trouble is, it's the corners are gonna be the tough ones. You know, maybe we should practice corners.
Well, we should be able to do, so you're not going to be able to bend it.
No, you have to snip it. There's a way.
So we can either snip it or we can pipe a corner? Okay.
The piping goes around, you have to snip the corners as you go. So there's a way to do it. So my concern is when we do the bottom piece, because it's not gonna have the leather, you're gonna have this piping here.
You have a second piping on the bottom.
right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna sew this to the piping. This might show a little bit. I don't know if it will. or not.
Oh, I see what you're trying to say because we're so
Yes.
close to it.
Yes.
Will it? Because one part of the bottom will be piping.
That's
I mean,
what
will
I'm
be
saying.
leather.
It'll be like this. Make believe this is this.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends.
So we could, no, so we could sew it a half inch in so that when you fold it over and pull it tight,
You're gonna have to make, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to make wider piping here. Wider sewing thing. You're gonna, I don't know.
okay. So why couldn't we have this, the bottom piping still have a 1 inch or 2 inch piece of this and then literally just sew these two together as a seam? So in other words, the bottom piping would still look just like this, but we would sew this.
Because your piping is only this, you've only got this much.
No, you got all of this.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
No, you don't.
the piping would be underneath, would be
Yes.
at the bottom just like this.
Okay.
So there's your leather, and then going in an inch.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm looking at this backwards. So this is the top, this is the skirting, or the, whatever this is
And
called,
there'd be
the side panel.
another leather piping down here.
Right.
And that leather piping, we have another sacrificial piece that goes underneath. So you'd still have leather pipe, still have leather on both sides of the piping.
You do. You've got this little thin piece, but you're going to say add another piece of leather.
Yes. Well, no. You're still going. You're going to have like a 2-inch or a 1-inch piece of sacrificial that goes underneath, and then you.
Right, and you apply that. But I'm just saying.
Okay.
I don't know. Either we take a piece of this and do it all the way up.
No, I think this was today's video. Trying to learn how to do this. I'm amazed. I am amazed. I'm amazed this came out. First time ever doing this.
It's not too bad. I mean, it's a little puckery, but once you put the cushion in, maybe it won't be.
Yeah, I don't care. Again, part of this is it's a Jeep, and we learn from each one that we do. How'd we do?
I think successful.
I think
we didn't break a needle.
We didn't, and we learned some things. That is amazing how well, for the first time, that came out. Now, all we did was the piping, and we still have to figure out how to bring piping and material around corners. We also need to learn how to put foam in this thing and figure out whether we need to put some kind of a softer liner in between the foam and this material. If you guys have ever done upholstery,
with your husband.
Hey, I was good. I really was good today. Just leave a comment and let us know what you think. These are going to be really beautiful in this Jeep. I love this material that we chose, that sort of dark brown pleather. Yes, pleather, fake leather, but it's a nice material. Anyway, guys, this was a fun thing to learn to do. This was so much the basics, but you got to start somewhere. You know, the first step to eating an elephant is one bite, and that's what we just did. This was cool, and I got to do it with my wife, my sweetie. All right, guys, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah, we're learning good stuff here. Appreciate you guys being here. I will see you in the next video doing something. See you guys later. Love you.